welcome. Oh, I started too early. Hello and welcome to the show. It is Mistress of Reed's live podcasting or whatever we figure out what it is, audio only show. We will eventually figure it out. I promise.
Yeah.
But,
he promises.
Yeah. Just like the song. Yeah. Randomly. All right. So before we get into Bookie Nerdy News, I finally named the segment. I'm so proud of myself. And I named it something entirely irrational. Okay. So before we get started into our show number three, Getting Back in the Voo, hosted by Voo and Miss O together again. Oh my God.
I was only gone for 1 weekend. It was just 1 weekend because it was my birthday. And
I know.
And I had to, get the groove on.
That's why we have to get back into the Voo on this happy Valentine's. Did you get Red Lobster?
No, I did not get Red Lobster.
You got broken fridge.
Yeah, I got broken fridge for reals. I just had like West Coast style pasta, y'all. I've only had it one time before. I don't know if you know what West Coast pasta is, but it's when you just take the noodles and you take the sauce and then you find every vegetable that is in your refrigerator. Doesn't even have to make sense. Just every vegetable and just drop it in there. And that's pretty much what I did because my refrigerator broke and I wanted to use my vegetables before they went bye-bye.
There you go. I would actually sound more pissed about it than you sound pissed about it, but that's just me.
I already worked through my anger.
I'm a bitter bitch. I take that shit. I burn with that shit. I'll cross the street for vendettas. I'll cross the highway for vendettas.
I had to work through my anger because it was just... I've already had enough drama with this place. I'm just ready to move. Just ready to move. That's all.
Well, today is Valentine's Day. And some of us went to Red Lobster. And some of us had...
West Coast pasta.
I finally figured out a hashtag for us to use. Hashtag MS Reads. What do you think?
Wow,
that's a bad hashtag?
That is so Windows 3.1.
Microsoft Reads, yeah. That's like a program to...
That was like, wasn't that like early Adobe?
I think so. Wow. I'm not sure.
Coming out here. I don't know if we should keep talking about it.
Why? Because you get a blue screen or something?
Too much geek is coming out. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have a geek nosebleed. Not really.
Besides having a whip and possibly some chains to tie some book boyfriends up, we also have the geeky glasses. So it's a trifecta of just weird. So it's okay. It's okay.
The weird is real, y'all.
Yeah. Release the geek.
I like my geek occasionally when it's not, apparent.
Well, somebody asked me what I wanted. We were talking about what we wanted for Valentine's Day. And I was like, well, if I could have it my way, I'd have a hot dude in a Darth Vader onesie. And then I'd have my way with him.
Okay, now that's even more twisted than me. All I wanted was like a bucket of chicken and video games.
That sounds a little greasy, doesn't it?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, sometimes that's all you really need. A bucket of chicken and some video games. I have very odd taste. I think we've already established that. I'm a pretty simplistic kind of gal.
Listen, I'm not fully evil. I'm going to be honest. I am kind of fully evil.
Well, it's funny. Since we're taking it to the geek a little bit, back in the day, like early like 1.0, 2.0 Dungeons and Dragons, I was considered chaotic neutral. Not
What's
anymore.
chaotic neutral? I think you've outgeeked me. What the hell is chaotic neutral?
Chaotic neutral, your alignment, chaotic neutral. It's pretty much it's like your own. It's your own gig. You're gonna do whatever the fuck you want. You don't care about the law of the land or anybody else. You're just gonna do what you want. But that's not the
Oh,
case anymore because I get amusement out of the bad shit that I do. So now I am chaotic evil in D and
oh
D
wow.
terms. Because I find amusement in some of the shit that I do. It's not that I do it on purpose. It's just that if someone opens the door, I just walk through it. And if walking through the door just happens to be something really bad but hilarious happening, I'm sorry. No, not really.
Oh
I'm not
no.
sorry. But it's
Oh no.
funny.
Oh no. I think instead of jumping off the bridge this February 14th with that statement, I'm gonna move forward.
I'm quite evil. Like I admit to it. I even enjoy it. Like Byron and I used to joke around about what like how we would be if we were superheroes. See, I'd be a villain, but I'd be like I'm all about the amusement villain wise. So like I would like break into the Grammys and steal them all, and then replace them with Grammys with Pee Wee Herman as the winner. Because I
Do
could
you
just
really want
imagine like Beyonce standing on there and the winner of album of the year and just without a beat just go what the fuck, like yes that's what I want. That would amuse me. Pee Wee Herman taking over the Grammys. Yep. Everyone Kanye's
Twitter?
day.
This is a bit random, but for some reason my backup Twitter account is speaking Spanish via Google. So I don't know what's up with that. So let's keep moving on and we'll get into the Bookie Nerdy news. Well, it just is. It's like I was looking at it like that's Spanish. I mean, I read Spanish okay. It's not great. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You know, thanks to McDonald's segue and my stint at McDonald's, I actually speak McDonald's Spanish. So I know what's going on. So,
Wow.
boy, seriously, so,
Necesito
boy,
chicken nuggets.
I can put together a Big Mac in Spanish. I can semi train people in Spanish.
Oh my
Yeah, I
goodness.
spent a long time at McDonald's. I don't know why I was at McDonald's that long. I just was because I was weird like that and I found it amusing. I have trouble with myself. But in Bookie Nerdy News, our first story isn't that a weird name, Bookie Nerdy News?
Yeah,
weird.
it is, but I like it. So leave
Yeah,
it.
because you can always go BBN, you know.
Yeah.
But in Bookie Nerdy News, McDonald's is going to give Happy Meal booklets, like little booklets, like actual books to children. I wonder how they make it not greasy.
Didn't they like try that like a while ago?
They did. This is not just their first year of doing it, and they're not just doing it in the UK. They're doing it to any McDonald's franchise who subscribes to this particular program. And the books are Happy Valentine's Day Mouse. You know that little mouse dude that used to have these adventures? You remember
Yeah.
that one? I love those books. Okay, and then Paddington Bear Valentine's Day story thingy, which is Paddington Bear. It's actually, quality name brand books. I mean, these are the
I
real
really
children's books you deal.
remember like an actual attempt at this shit like during like the 80s. I really do.
I
And
remember
then they kind of like gave that shit up.
The Paddington Bear like bears. You remember those used to be really expensive.
Yeah.
Really expensive. Like not like what are those dolls that used to be hella expensive? Those Cabbage Patch were more expensive.
Dude, I had like 3 or 4 of those suckers and like they weren't cheap at all.
No, they weren't. They totally weren't.
And because my parents are trying to deal with that whole like, multicultural thing, I had Cabbage Patch Kids all different colors, right? So I like my little Cabbage Patch rainbow tribe.
Do you think that kids are going to get their little Happy Meals that don't have fries? Because you know what kind of mom is going for this? The one who doesn't get their kids fries, who gets
the apple stick shit.
Yes, and who doesn't put meat on the bun? They just have the cheese.
Ew.
Can you tell I worked at McDonald's just by knowing this, like, mom?
I have never worked at a McDonald's, and now I'm glad because there's some little
It's
kid probably plotting your death right now, lady.
yeah. So I mean, they have the meatless cheeseburger with just the cheese, the toasted bun of the cheese, and then on top of that, they have the apple fries that are I don't know
Our
how
ass, their ass. There's just no way. Their
I think
ass.
I think they spritz some sort of lemon or something on the apple fries in order for them to stay appley color. Otherwise, it's some sort of weird something or other. So they have that, and then the kid opens up the box, and look, instead of an actual Happy Meal toy, you get a book, little asshole.
Yeah, I'd be a bitter kid. You're gonna be seeing kids like trashing the hell out of McDonald's.
Just rage,
They're just
rage
gonna
quit,
just trash that joint.
rage quit McDonald's. A book. They're doing this in the UK. When they open up their Happy Meals, they're like, "Oh, a book! Yay!"
No, they're not. That's just a
You're doing
lie.
they're doing this in the UK as well, and it'll be available in both English and available in some Spanish style McDonald's restaurants. So they're having the Spanish version available. I think that McDonald's is trying to get classy.
I just remember the last time they tried this shit, it really didn't work out like in their favor. Like I really remember like it was like the little greasy books in the plastic and the kid would get the book and be like, "Oh," and then they throw it on the floor and then they'd go back to their sad ass Happy Meal.
Well, the last time they did this, it was Roald books. You know, the ones that like the Matilda, but it's the flash fiction version, so they're the short story versions of the
Yeah.
Roald books. You know, if this was Cat in the Hat type books and that Dr. Seuss dude was still alive, I'd actually like that. Like if McDonald's had done like a green eggs and ham day where they did like avocado burgers with with ham on it or something, avocado style burgers with ham and egg.
They could have just used good old fashioned vegan food coloring and just moved on.
Well, you can't put food coloring in the mom version who wants we're really on this like it's an actual topic. You know what mom I'm talking about. She does not appreciate food coloring.
Well, I guess she'd have to stop taking her kids to fucking McDonald's. Just a thought. Because that doesn't say good parenting to me. I mean, I could be missing something here, but I am probably like the most twisted parent in the world. And you know what? My kid hasn't set foot in a McDonald's in 10 years.
Well, it's not like you're pushing your child off of freaking bridges or anything.
No, not at all. Though I do encourage you to pick fights with grown men, but that's martial arts.
Don't back away. Mama said beat this. All right. We gotta have her on as a special guest one of these days. Okay, so NPR. I was reading an article out of NPR, and Tanith Lee?
Yeah.
Dead. I'm sorry. Rip. Tanith Lee. Tanith Lee's book, the fantasy and sci-fi writer, but like the book, crazy amount of books that Tanith Lee has written. I've only read like maybe 1 to 2 Tanith Lee. Have you ever read a Tanith Lee book?
No. I kind of feel on that, so no.
A lot of her books went out of print. And Tanith Lee was a British writer, sci-fi writer, horror, fantasy. She wrote over 90 novels. 90? Yeah, 90. And you know how fantasy novels have to be like 300 to 400 pages. So again, yeah.
Yeah.
300 short stories, a children's picture book, and a crap load of poems. She wrote 2 episodes. She also wrote some episodes for TV. So she wrote a couple episodes of TV, and died at 67 years old.
Wow.
Uh, so I mean, you had a good run. That's a terrible thing. You know, you had a good run. Yeah, good run. That's not bad.
Not
But
bad.
no, not bad. Most famous book is Wolf Towers. And most famous modern book is Wolf Towers, which isn't actually out of print. It's still in print. But a lot of her books actually went out of print. And it's, you remember that time when when you went to Barnes and Nobles and they always had those sort of in the fantasy section, they always had those books with like those medieval style drawings on them on the front
Yeah.
for fantasy. She wrote those kind of books.
Well, I did mention D&D, so of course I read the D&D books because I was that geek. Still
Deep
am.
in the geeky. Deep in the geeky.
I have a
I
candy dish
never
full of D&D dice on my coffee table.
I never doubted your deep bona fides. Okay, never doubted your deep bona fides.
There's just so much. I don't know. Sometimes I'm proud of being a geek, and sometimes I'm like really horrified, especially when I watch shows like Big Bang Theory or read books like Geekmancy. Oh, then I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna hide under my desk for a little bit, and I'll get over this.
I've actually been badgering a friend of mine to start writing a seriously geeky love story. That's
See,
actually a good title
I'm
name.
doing a geeky action story.
But then again, a geeky action story would just be MacGyver, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Except MacGyver's like a single mom who's like a gamer by day, and yeah, me pretty much.
yeah, write it, girl, write it. I might as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next story.
Let's move on.
We're popping along. We're really on today. We're popping along. We're on topic. Ooh.
I know. I occasionally try to derail us, but you've been keeping us on, so yay.
Yeah, I know. I just want to slap us around a bit. My God, you're so on topic. So this is going to be the derail moment. Stop the presses. Neil Gaiman's American Gods TV adaptation has got a new cast member. He's playing Shadow Moon. He's a hot brother with a bald head.
Oh, you know that's not flavor.
Beard.
Who?
Ricky Whittleman. Whittle. I don't know. What is that? Whittle? Okay. I think it's Whittle.
I have to look it up now.
He's just Ricky to me because I gave you the show. You have the show link page, right? The show notes page. It's on there. He's looking hot. He's looking so hot. Oh Lord.
Oh, he naked.
Good looking
good Shadow.
Oh yeah.
He got a pretty smile too. Hello.
Full lips. Let me just for the audio listeners, for people who walk around the house listening to the show, because I know you're there. I see you. He has these full lips, just this nice little pert little nose, deep in that chin, nice strong chin. Let me
he
see
got
if there's
the hip dimples. Yes, I got the shirtless. He got hip dimples. I love
those. You went straight for the shirtless, didn't you?
All I did was search his name as the first one that came up.
That should tell you. That should tell you. Now, me and you both watch Arrow, correct?
Yeah. Arrow.
where Arrow is basically Arrow just going up and down on that super.
Oh my god! The pull-up part.
Like, yeah, 80%. No, I could. Oh Lord, those are deep dimples. He has super abs.
Right?
Oh Lord, look at him. Look at him pushing down. Look at he's so filled with baby oil. Oh God.
I would eat eggs off of his stomach. And for y'all who don't know, I hate eggs, but I would eat them off of his stomach. So
Lord. Oh Lord, so many baby oils him up all the time. He's so well lotioned.
Yes, he is.
Oh wow. I'm scrolling. I'm having a moment.
There's underwear pics too. Oh, there's a no underwear pic.
What?
Yeah.
Not safe for work.
I don't know. Like my true love for all this time has been Shamar Moore. But I don't know. Like he's like the dude I'd cheat on Shamar Moore with.
You know, the creepiest thing is the older this dude gets, the hotter he's getting. Like,
Yeah.
because his earlier pictures aren't as hot as his nower pictures. His now
Yeah.
pictures are hot.
His
Like,
now
people get
pictures
mad
are
at
like,
me.
I could take him places.
Yeah, people get mad at me because I don't like what's his name, Jamie Dorman or whatever his name is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The 50 Shades of Grey guy, because he isn't
Yeah.
hot without a beard.
He's
Because
just not hot, period, to me.
when he has a beard, he's somewhat hot. He's not my kind of hot, but I can see it. But without the beard, he looks baby faced. And you know, I'm in my 30s. I can't get away with it, you know, doing an 18-year-old without thinking about it. You know? And he looks like really, really young. Like too young. Too young.
I gotta share something with you. You just gotta promise me that you won't have a nosebleed because you know we're on air. But I'm gonna give you a slightly religious moment.
I'm ready to see God.
And see if it actually will pop it up. No, it won't. All right, let me do it a different way. I'm gonna give you a link.
Send it to
You
me
are
over
not-
Skype. Send it to me over Skype.
I love that. Send it to me over on Skype. Okay. See, this is what trashy women do, y'all. Okay, we're not trashy, but
Yeah, you know, stop the show. We're perving. Stop the show. See what Neil Gaiman did? You see what you did? You gave us Hot Shadow Moon, and we just stopped. Stop traffic. Stop traffic. All right, I'm clicking on it. I'm opening it, and we'll see what we got here.
Oh yeah. But that's a good choice for Shadow. Yes. Yes.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yes. Like I love American Gods. It's one of my favorite books. It's just it's so good. Which is actually interesting because the sequel to it, the Nancy Boys, I actually couldn't stand. Well, no, it's not I couldn't stand it. It's I really, really hated his brother.
You hated his brother?
Yeah, because in Nancy Boys is twin brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't stand the one that actually was more like a Nuncy.
Okay, let me go ahead and sign into the next one. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one while I nosebleed a little bit.
see what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. I gotta get some sound effects. It's just clapping. Yes.
La, la, la. Wait, one more, and then you can talk to God. Go ahead.
Goal isn't to knock me out here. The goal is to get to the... All right. I've got well, the next story will put cold water on this picture.
Okay.
Donald Trump has a fan fiction-y, you know, erotica novel on Amazon.
I heard about that. I did. I want to puke because I don't even want to believe that he has sex. Like I want to believe that he just bought all of his children on the black market.
He has a shitload of kids. I mean, that's one motherfucker not using a condom. he's going in raw at every opportunity. Ew.
Now here's a question though: is it gay erotica? Because that would make more sense to me.
No, I thought it was regular. There's like a series. There's a couple of. There's a Hotel Bellboy one. A Torre where he has so this there's a novel where he has a torrid affair with a hotel bellboy in Hong Kong.
So that sounds gay.
I bet. And then there's a 50 Shades one. 50 Shades of Grey one I think is actually more serious. But the hotel listen, I read just about everything that runs across my my inbox. I'm a reader, and I'll dabble into the dark Amazon. I'll dabble into the dark Wattpad. Because sometimes it's a show, and you just can't look away.
I don't know, because like the books you had me read, there was some darkness that I just can't erase from my soul right now. That I never had before.
Wait, we'll get into that. Are you talking about the Songs of Submission series?
Yes. There is some darkness that has entered my soul that I don't think I can wash away.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we'll talk about that later.
I've been stained.
Stink. Okay, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that a little later. You know, because nobody be talking about them smutty books, but we're talking about that smutty books for you. For you.
Yeah.
We do this for you.
I've even read shit that I would normally not even touch. Just because
I need a palate cleanser. So I went back to my brother. A palate cleanser. I need a palate cleanser, so I went back to the Shadow Moon, which he's forever known as Shadow Moon with handcuffs.
Yes, he is. Oh, that's so nice.
Palate cleanser.
So well done, though. That was a good choice. So yay. Thank you, Mr. Neil Gaiman. I'm your biggest fan. Okay, I'm probably not your biggest, but I am a big fan.
Well, okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next story. Next.
It's Mario.
Okay. Next story. So, have you ever wondered how much money the Weasleys actually had? This was a little bit depressing for me. I figured out how.
I kind of figured they're a little impoverished with all those fucking kids.
No. They're not just a little impoverished. They were super poor.
Wow.
Did you actually? Okay, so they did it seriously. Somebody put a Google Translate. You remember the book? They had like a couple knuts and then one gold coin.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was something like really like just a small amount, and they swept it into this small ass bag. And then Harry went to his lot and he had like all these coins and shit.
Wow. I feel bad for the Weasleys.
I feel terrible for the Weasleys because I think that the gold coin was like $20 or $50. I think I'm closer to a Weasling than I am a Potter. So
I'm close. I'm a bit above a Weasley. I'm about a Hermione. I can't say their name without an accent. I'm sorry.
Hermione. See, I used to say Hermione wrong for years. Because I started reading Harry Potter before the audiobooks. Like, I didn't, like, before I got the audiobook. So I used to say it wrong. And I spent my life saying it wrong. And then I got some money. I got the audiobook. I
can't say it without an accent. So it comes out Hermione. Which is funny because it sounds like Korean.
No, you know what you sound like? When you say it, you sound like the dude who was from Dorvenstrand. I can't see. I read. You can tell which books I heard the audiobook first, and which books I
Wait, is that you talking about the Ivan or whatever the hell his name was?
Yeah.
Hermione. Hermione. I'm gonna try to say Hermione, but it's probably gonna come out Hermione. Still, can't help it. It's like it's gonna keep sounding like it's gonna keep sounding like grandma in Korean.
Freeze your cunnilingus tongue. Just freeze it in your mouth and then say Hermione.
Hermione.
Yeah.
That's so hard.
You're just giving it so much flavor with your tongue. You're just
I can't help it.
And you keep in mind that you're dealing with England, so there is no flavor in there.
Word.
There's no flavor going on in there. Okay, so a galleon is $25. A sickle is about $1.50, and a knut is 5 cents.
Wow. Those poor Weasleys. y'all need to donate money to the Weasleys. Give the Weasleys your money. They are some sad, destitute people with all those damn kids.
I mean, that or send them a condom.
Well, they actually have one less kid now, sadly. The book's been out long enough that is it one less or two less?
One. Because the other one is half werewolf. The other one's partially a werewolf.
Yeah.
and he's still alive.
Yeah, it was one of the twins died. That scene actually broke my heart. And listen, bitches, if you don't get like worked up about it, because I said something about it, this book's been out for how long now? So yeah,
We're gonna have to
spoiler.
review it. We're gonna have to review the Harry Potter books.
Well, yeah, because
Did
we have to
you
cover
read
the
Rick
James
Riordan?
Potters. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Did you read
did.
the Rick Riordan books?
I
We should. Go
the
ahead.
the Kane Chronicles I loved because it was the first time really that it was multiracial kids
Pantheon,
as the lead, and
and
it was
also it's
that
a
was
different
good for.
pantheon.
It is also a different pantheon, but the whole thing was the multiracial hero because I have a little Harmony baby in the other room, and I wanted her to, read the books, and so we read the whole series together.
Okay, so we'll go through that, and we'll actually, because a lot of people don't realize that me and you both read all different types of books and all different age groups, and mostly, with the
Yeah,
exception of Twilight, which we both
I
agree
want to. I can't even say it publicly. Never mind. Just
we're not going to talk about. The books that shall not be named.
it's just a long child services call waiting to happen.
Slow moving child services going. Just child services. I've got a pillow for you. An absentee father.
Oh my god.
Because he's like 100 years old, and it's like, that's just because you look like a kid doesn't make you not a pedo.
It's just wrong.
That's
And then
like
he like
saying a
watches her
40-year-old.
sleep, and that just made it even wronger. Like all of it is just wrong. And then they're
It's like
like
saying a
living as like
40-year-old.
adopted siblings, except they all coupled up.
Okay, I don't have a problem with adopted siblings like that. Maybe it's me, but I know shit happens. I'm a grown up. Shit happens. They ain't related, and shit happens. I've had friends where shit happens, and they're still together some 15 years later. So I ain't gonna talk about it.
Oh, it's just weird to me.
But what I had the most trouble with is the fact that because here's the thing, even the siblings, even these siblings that hooked up with each other, they were even giving him dirty looks about it. It wasn't just about the fact that he was sitting in a room in the dark watching a 16-year-old girl. it was that he was like waiting for her to mature so he could do it. It's like
Then on top of it, you got the werewolf that's lusting after her yet to be conceived fetus.
it's like you can't raise your lover. That's not allowed.
And then they made him the nanny because they're just too busy being sparkly and pretty to bother being parents.
Listen, okay, we're done.
All
We're
right,
done.
no more.
We're done with this. We're moving on. I'm sorry, Weasley. I shall send you money. Okay, I'm PayPaling you money. So I wonder what the Wizarding World's equivalent to PayPal is. Just like
I
a
don't know,
goblin.
but you would think though he did marry Hermione. Fuck it. He did marry Hermione. He did marry her, and her parents were doctors, and she's a smart girl. I think she's bringing home the bacon.
Well, I think that what they were saying is that J.K. Rowling thought after the fact that she shouldn't have hooked Harry up with
Jenny Weasley.
she should have hooked her up with Hermione, which actually would have made more sense.
Everyone was kind of hoping for that.
It wouldn't have the same overall ending where he became part of the Weasley family. What he wanted more than anything was a big family. And so, in a sense, he got more from hooking up with the Weasley daughter than he would have gotten hooking up with Hermione, who doesn't have family.
At the same time, though, but now that Harry and Hermione are the breadwinners for the Weasleys.
No. The breadwinners for the Weasleys are not Harry and Hermione. The breadwinners for the Weasleys are what's the name of that thing? Which one died? Fred or George? Fred died, didn't he?
I don't
George is still
remember.
alive. I can't remember. I just think of them as one human being, which is terrible.
You know, right before I'm about to do something really, really bad, I always use their motto. I solemnly swear to be up to no good.
You know what? I had a book club, and I actually had that as the model for my dirty book club. I was like, you must swear. I solemnly swear to be up to no good, and then followed up by, and my mischief will never be managed. That was a book club. That was the book club motto. Because, like, listen, swear it. Swear on the porn gods.
I solemnly swear I am up to no good all the time. I usually came down to, what are you doing? Nothing. No, really, what are you doing? I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. And that's all I would say.
I mean, technically, okay. We're deep in the Potters. We're deep in the Pottermore.
Yeah,
okay. So let's go on to the next topic here for our nerdy book news, nerdy book news, whatever.
Penguin ditches degree requirements for job applicants.
I think this is actually a good move.
I think so.
What I found a lot of times is that you get these books that are all the sameness to them.
Yeah.
And it stopped me from reading a lot of romance books, number one, and a lot of main publisher books. It pushed me into the indie market, because if you are a person who reads like hundreds of books, you know, there's book readers at various tiers. You know, there's a person who only reads one book a year. There's a person who only reads like 3 or 4 books a year, and then there's people who read like 100.
And there's my sister who reads magazines and refers to them as books.
Snob.
Damn straight I am.
Snob. Just a complete snob. All right. But I think that this might save publishing.
I think they needed it.
Because you can always get somebody to edit a book, but fundamentally, the fundamentals of a book has to be there in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually do know what you mean. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm kind of loopy today because I didn't get my nap. So bear with me.
You had that vape?
Yeah, actually, my vaporizer's in my hand as we speak.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't worry. I have here a hot toddy because I'm 80 years old.
I only have those when I'm sick.
Well, I'm really, really cold, and I'm like, well, let me go ahead. And I'm really cold, and I kind of want that warm feeling-y, and because I'm like going to be talking for about an hour. So I was like, I've been doing the hot toddy thing.
I have my water. It's right here. My water.
You have your water. You got your weed too?
Yes. I have my water and my Scooby snacks. That's what I call them.
Do you make the homemade Scooby snacks or the real Scooby snacks?
The real Scooby snacks.
Because like I've had the name brand Scooby snacks because I'm 8 years old.
Well, then that makes you like 9.5 because I'm there with you.
Yeah, I like making the DIY Scooby snacks, though.
I think the DIY Scooby snacks are less dog food like. Now there are Scooby snacks dog food, but we are not partaking of the Scooby snacks dog food. Is not what we're talking about. Though it is kind of funny. I have a very, 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 very lazy little dog, and I always thought it was funny every time I gave him a snack, like the little motherfucker would jump up in the air, like 3 feet in the air. Mm-hmm. Then if I go to toss his ball to him, like he will just let it shoot past him. Then he'll sit there and decide whether or not he feels like running after it. Then he'd run, he'd go get it, he'd come back, and instead of like handing it to me, he'd just lay on top of it.
Why would he lay on top of it?
So I can't get it, so I can't throw it again because he's fucking lazy.
So your manic dog believes that instead of actually playing the game, he can just sort of lay onto it and then get the treat.
Yeah.
It's actually a dog after your own heart.
Yeah.
So in order to combat your dog's laziness, you have to have like a tight food regime. Otherwise, it'd be a fat fuck.
Yeah, they only get fed once a day because they're really small dogs. They only get a cup and a half food a day, and that's to stop them from being like, you know, super fatties. Though Arashi will try to sucker anybody into feeding him. He had poor Beth like having to share everything she ate because she was guilted by his little doggy face. And I was like, just say no. But I can't say no. He's so cute. I'm like, and that's why you're a sucker.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotta put your foot down with little dogs. Just like with people. Put your foot down. Dominate. Damn.
Dominate. Okay, so Amazon is possibly going to open a crap load of book and mortar bookstores after it has stomped its heart on Barnes and Nobles, killed the Tower Books,
pointless.
murdered.
I
murdered. I can't even remember. What was the other bookstore?
It was Barnes and Nobles, Borders,
Borders.
B. Dalton, V. Dalton,
Tower.
God, V. Dalton, Tower, but they're still Tower Records. So, H&V Books. There's a lot, but honestly, I think that'd be pointless because you know what? Though the hipsters, I hate hipsters, like to go out and still like stroll the boulevard wearing their like vintage chic. Those people who buy from Amazon sit right home in their drawers and order it online.
I think
it's a waste of money.
I think what they're doing is because what I think Amazon is going to try to do, because it's between 300 and 400 stores worldwide. That's a lot of fucking stores. I think the reason why they're opening all these stores is not to just be a store, but also to be a node.
Kind of like the Virgin stores?
A shipping node.
Oh.
I think they want to be a shipping node. And the main reason why I think they want to be a shipping node is because what they can do is they can store more books and they can do quick drop shipments that get shipped out overnight to a person to better support the Prime membership. So those Amazon bookstores are probably going to have like not records and CDs or something, but like a dumb section, like a commonly watched section. And then like a couple maybe yeah, there's going to be something. There's not going to be just books in this store. It's going to be like a mini Walmart, I think. There's like a variety of different things. And it'll also support their food section, I think, as well. I think that we're looking at this as just books, but I think this is an expansion to make them the primary shipper of all shit.
Well, then in the way it does make sense because, like, you know, their Amazon Fresh program, that has not reached as far out as they would have liked for it to have. So I know that this would probably be a good thing so they can stretch out their whole Amazon Fresh thing. Because that did not do as well as they wanted.
And also, I mean, there's other things to come that they can ship, not just digital, but those locations can also act as a node for their Amazon TV services. It could store servers and all kinds of things. There could be a lot under the hood of these Amazon stores that we don't even think of.
Which means that their employees would need more than a 6-week like course to be able to work at the store, unlike the Geek Squad.
Not necessarily, because keep in mind, if they put certain things on certain level, they can have like if it's a server thing, you don't necessarily need somebody there to run the servers to sit there and babysit them. If they put Amazon servers, Amazon cloud storage servers in all those locations to make serving up data faster, they would just need a person who's in the area to service, 5, 6 server locations.
Yes, but if
I mean,
they're only doing like, 200 or 300 stores worldwide, that's a lot of region to cover.
What I think of them. I think that these stores are going to be a lot closer to Apple stores than they are to Walmart's.
Oh, Apple stores are annoying.
I think it's going to be a lot closer to an Apple, because I don't think that the primary purpose of these stores is to necessarily sell a lot of shit through the stores themselves. I think that there are node locations for them to push out more shit. Because right now they're hiring a lot of immigrant workforce, a large immigrant workforce, which they can no longer hide from the public. A large immigrant workforce of part-timers who come in to box all that stuff up and ship it out.
Vitals.
I used to work in college. I used to work at a bookstore, and at the bookstore, we actually were a node location for Barnes and Nobles. And in that location, we used to put textbooks into boxes all day long and ship them out to people during the start of the season. And I think that's what's going to happen at these stores. It's not the most efficient way to do it, but if you no longer have access, if you may no longer have access to a large workforce of an immigrant population, this allows you a backup plan, which may happen for them. So, you know what I'm talking about? Am I just talking out of my
No,
ass?
I understand what you're saying. And unfortunately, it just sounds like an oversized convenience store to me.
Yeah, exactly like an oversized convenience store. Exactly like an oversized convenience store. You are correct, the mundo.
I'm really trying to stop myself from doing this, but it's just gonna have to come out. Thank you. Come again. Yep. It happened. I was holding it in. I apologize.
I actually, you know what that thank you, come again. I actually like that greeting, because it's like thanking somebody for coming and come back again. Because, we have a relationship. I always, I'm dorky. Live long and prosper.
Oh my goodness.
May the force be with you. I honestly think that there should be an awesome Quickie Marty sort of. I used to have this idea for
They
like
have them
a
all over
TV
New
series.
Jersey.
A TV series that happens in a Quickie Mart that is constantly on the brink of mass destruction in some way, and then they fight it out.
They did. It was called Clerks.
Yeah, fantasy type ways. Yes.
Clerks, the animated series. There you go.
Yes. I don't know if I had seen Clerks the animated series when I was younger, or I don't know what happened, but
it came out during the early 2000s. Really was 4, so 2003, 2004.
Okay.
Had a very short run,
but
not made for network television, but they sure as hell tried.
You know what? Clerks the series probably would have worked better now than it would then.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
It was just like, and it was also on the wrong network, probably.
Yeah, it was.
If it was on like Cartoon Network, it probably would have worked. So Samantha Bee from she is from The Daily Show.
Yes.
She had all those segments that were kind of non-typical segments. She didn't. The problem with Samantha Bee is she didn't have those super hit segments like Yosef Mombi did with the racist dude and all the ones. But what Samantha Bee did is she always had consistently good segments, unlike the other people. They were always consistently good. Now Samantha Bee is gearing up for her show, which is coming out later this year. On I think it's like TBS or something.
Yes,
it's like
TBS.
Somewhere weird. It's somewhere weird where, I wish that Comedy Central had just offered her a fucking show.
No, instead they gave it to was it Amy Schwimmer, and it's just a whole lot of like blatant sex and fat girl humor. But it's not good fat girl humor. It's self-deprecating fat girl humor, which just makes it unsexy.
Do you remember SNL, how they used to have this running joke that they couldn't have two black people on the screen at the same time, or like two black women on the screen, or two black men, because they only had like maybe one black person at a time for a series. And it's like, I kind of wish the Comedy Central would have realized that you can have multiple women on Comedy Central. It's allowed. And they would have just, because TBS is so like not gonna work out.
Like, so TBS.
Yeah, it's just like nobody's watching. No, nobody's watching. So Samantha Bee had an interesting conversation with the LA Times, and this is from the interview by Meredith Blake, and she asked, Samantha Bee an interesting solution, which is Hollywood is constantly looking to solve the problem of diversity, and Samantha Bee had an interesting argument of just hire people. If you want diversity, just hire them. And I think it's interesting because they're constantly trying to put bags over one people to make them look like another people instead of just hiring those people.
They've been doing that for decades.
Yeah, and it's like Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell. They want to hire this chick that was in Lucy, and you know who I'm talking about. I think Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, they want to hire Scarlett Johansson for Ghost in the Shell.
That's like when they wanted to do Keanu Reeves as Akira in Akira.
Yeah. And I understand that Hollywood likes to hire Hollywood, but Akira is a huge property and it's a huge draw by itself. And it's like almost all Marvel comic characters are a huge draw by themselves. They don't need a secondary draw of a huge Hollywood, I would have preferred that they had done the whole entire Marvel series by using less Hollywood talent or less known talent.
I definitely think, I don't think there could have been a better Iron Man. Like, I thought about
this.
I really thought about this for a long period of time.
No, you're right about Iron Man. You're right about Iron Man, and you're right about Thor.
Yes. Oh yes.
I would Captain America.
There was only one other. There would only be one other that could probably do Thor better, and that would be Heath Ledger, and he's no longer here. But I
don't think Heath Ledger would do Thor well because I don't think he could have bulked up to the correct size for Thor. That's the only reason why. And I don't think he would have carried the Thor weight correctly. That's a lot of weight to carry. And Heath Ledger never had those lines. There's a thing about Australian men, and they pull off that sort of American weighty husky well. That mixed genetics that Germany, Scandinavian, English hot mess genetics that pull off that sort of huskier look. Well,
they are descendants of like criminals and convicts. I mean, I'm sure they had weightlifting then in some way.
Hot mess genetics. But what I'm talking about is like
muscle.
There's that European soccer-y look, and then there's that rugby-ish, football-ish American look.
Flavor is I used to only date rugby players for like a really long time.
You must have been really searching it in the US.
Not really. Like I went to a major university that had a rugby team, and so yeah, rugby and lacrosse players.
Gotcha. All right, let's go ahead, and that is the end of the Nerdie
title
Bookie Nerdie News.
Bookie Nerdie News.
Bookie Nerdie News. Okay. Are you starting to hate the title now?
No, I just think it's a really long title, and if you got me drunk, I wouldn't remember it.
Well, hopefully
the news section.
Hopefully after we do this a couple of times, you'll always be drunk for Bookie Nerdie News. So what are you actually Okay, so what's on the shelf? What do you want to read?
I just got the latest Alex Craft book.
Book 4?
Yes, book 4, Grave Visions.
So is there a plan to read it, or are you going to let it sit on the shelf for a bit and cure
Actually, there is a plan to read it. I'll be starting it tonight. I'm doing it in audiobook form, so I'll be starting it tonight while I am playing Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, okay. Anything else on the shelf?
The third book of that whole Songs of Dominance thing, because I have entered the darkness and I just can't leave it yet.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and which book do you want to do first? Do you want to do it out of order or in order?
I thought we were doing the other two.
We've got on our book reading list. Okay, we had a little bookie accident. So let's get into the Smutty Chronicles for Valentine's Day, hosted by Vu and O from Mistress of Reads. It's going to be a very smutty Valentine's. And we have 3 books on offer, and we accidentally got super smutty because we had Tight from last week that we didn't get to. And then we read Shutter Girl this week. And then on top of it, she was like, oh, I don't know if I like Shutter Girl all the way. I like it, but I don't like it. I'm like, fine, then fuck you. Read Songs of Submission, bitch. Take it.
But you know what, though? I do like Shutter Girl. I just don't like the way it wrapped up.
So let's talk about Shutter Girl first. So Shutter Girl is, let me go, by C.D. Reese. And she is one of my favorite type of authors. She's an indie author out of not Las Vegas, but LA. She writes these sort of very emotional depth books with really good setting and place, with these little slightly complex plots with decent sex. And it's almost to the point where you're like, page turning for everything. Your page turning for the sex, your page turning for the story, your page turning for the setting, your page turning for the songs and the emotion. It's a complete book.
It was tastefully sexy sex too. Like, it was tastefully hot.
Oh, exactly. And also on top of it, okay, she can write really smutty. She can go real dirty.
Yeah.
She goes super dirty birdie. And we'll get into the discussion portion of this later, because we're not trying to spoil the book. We're in the non-spoilery book version. So this is for all you bitches who ain't read this yet. I want to say about this book is you might confuse this with your standard erotica super smutty schmutties, but it's not.
No.
It's like a nerdy erotica. Yeah?
No.
No. Artistic erotica.
I feel that there's definitely lots of imagery and lots of depth to the emotion. I enjoy it. The setting is great. I thought the whole thing, the whole buildup itself, which is well done. Yeah. I just kind of, I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm watching one of those like 90s rom-coms when it gets to the end, though.
Yeah. Okay. So
in fact, I'm expecting like Freddie Prinze Jr. to make a cameo. Like, it was
okay. So let me get to the end here, and we'll go ahead and say, would you buy this book? Definitely.
I bought it.
No, buy, pass, or rent. Would you
buy it?
Okay. What did you feel about the audiobook version of it? Was it good?
Actually, I did like the way it was done. I really did. And like normally I don't like that whole, like, cause like, you know, each chapter was like his and her. So when it was her chapter, she would read. When it was his chapter, he would read. But it wasn't one of those things where it was like his version of her didn't sound freaky or weird. Yeah. They
sometimes they got
they stayed in the same, like they definitely had a good chemistry. Yeah, it was well done. Yeah.
So you would definitely you recommend this to somebody else?
Yes, I actually would. Yes,
I would actually recommend the author. Consistently buy on the author. almost consistent buy in the author. The only thing I wouldn't buy from her, and I wouldn't buy from any author, is anything to do with mobster. And she has these sort of mobstery books that I don't read. It's not because I don't love her. It's because I have issue with the mob and gang violence. That's just a personal thing for me. Don't hate me. I still love your porny. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I actually have the same sort of buy the audiobook, buy the ebook, buy almost anything from this author, because she consistently has really good beat to her stories, and they work their way through. They have subplots. I know this is stupid, and a lot of authors are told never to put subplots in there, but she has subplots, and I like subplots. I know that sounds dumb. I like subplots. I like knowing that, I like wondering about things and filling in the blanks on certain things. I like imagining what's happening. I don't necessarily like being handed things in a straight linear sense that it just smooths, it's so smooth that it's like butter and it's been overly edited. I don't like that. I love them. Yeah. So that is the close to the non-spoilers. We're about to spoil this bitch now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna spread her wide open.
Okay, so there's a couple things that I know me and you were talking about this slightly before, and you told me earlier that one of the things you did not, in this discussion portion of the Shutter Reads discussion by Shutter Girls discussion by CD Reese, what you didn't like was the fact that she was very down on herself.
She was very, very like that. There was no self-esteem.
Debbie Downer.
Couldn't beat this bitch lower. And it was just like, how, and I kept thinking to myself as I'm going through it, how can you love anybody if you can't love yourself? Like, come on. And then like she would like stand up for herself and then would retreat like quickly too often. And it took too long into the book for her to just, grow a pair.
I would have to agree with that.
All in all, it did work, but I do think that she should have been more confident, just a little bit more confident. And I think that he was a little too confident, but it wasn't really that he was confident. It was very much no fucks given. Like he's like, oh yeah, this happened. Yeah, that's gonna suck. But you know what? Fuck it.
Well, I think that he had this thing about he was a shallow person looking for depth.
See, that's the thing. I think he was just a little bit deeper than he was shallow. But I think a lot of it was just a lot of no fucks given, because he always like had to put up this persona. Mm-hmm. But in reality, he was very much like, ugh, are we done yet? Can I be me now?
Okay, so in Cheddar Girl, the main character, which is the dude, is Hollywood royalty. And because he's royalty, he's always been in the public eye. Was he always in the public eye? I think so, yeah? He
did his first big role when he was like just 18, like barely 18.
Yeah. Now, in LA...
His father was a famous actor and his mother was a famous actress. So yeah, his whole life, he's in there.
Okay, now in LA, they have these schools where like rich kids go and then not so rich kids go sometimes. And they're like vocational schools that have a hyper art focus. So it's not just
professional
acting.
Schools
also,
are what they're called.
It's also in yes, okay, little miss, okay. It's not just acting. It's also music,
modeling, fine arts, and all that. Yeah, they're called professional schools. They're actually schools that are made. They not only are they made for like college prep if they want to go on and do that, but they're also made for students that are working, actors, actresses, and all that. So
and socialites.
Yes. Very high privacy, very, very like expensive. I was actually looking at one that's in the Northeast for Lily, but Grandma said no.
It's supposed to make you, if you go to a dinner party, you can actually talk about stuff, besides the normal stuff. If you go into the normal section, it's all the things that they take out of public school these days, out of most public schools. are actually in those ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Now she accidentally goes and, because she's an orphan, she accidentally gets dumped into one of those schools, which makes it meet this guy, and she has this sort of slow moving relationship. I like slow love.
Okay.
Do you like slow
She
love?
wasn't really dumped into the school. This is like a really high class, like, prep school that she lucked into because she ended up with a rich foster family. Now, I do like the slow love. I like the build. My favorite is when they actually hit each other at the beginning and they move into it, because I like watching that transformation of emotion. But I do dig the whole slow love thing. What I kind
of was underdone hoping, in romance books.
It is underdone. It is. That's why I watch Korean dramas, because see, they give it to me.
Dude, that isn't slow love. That's molasses love. You barely get a kiss in those things.
Oh, you're not watching the right ones then, Mama, because I don't know. Some of that gets hot.
I think because I'm not watching all the Korean drama ones, because we don't get all of them here, and I don't go to the right sites. I go to the ones that are mostly
Drama Fever.
I go to the ones that are mostly anime focused and has some drama, so therefore the drama it's like G, like
G to G Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Boo.
Places like those, yeah. Well, I like anime, so sue me. Okay, so
I like anime too, but I like dramas.
Let's get back in this, boo. Let's get back in this, boo. Okay. So where we're at the point where they meet up. Okay, so they're doing this slow love thing, and they meet up, and over time they're talking to each other, they're hooking up.
They're secret friends.
Yeah, and you've had that relationship before.
I'm sure we all have at one time or another.
And I think it's one of those. It's actually a really weird relationship too.
I think that it was one of those things where they just didn't know how to speak on it. But I think that love was definitely there when he was 18 and she was 15, and like that's another thing. She was also a really super kid, so she was actually like 15, like on her senior year. I don't know if that was mentioned also.
I think so. Yeah.
She like he and then she's like, you didn't even know how old I was, and he goes, you're barely 15. And she's like, well, if you knew that, then no, the rest of my classmates probably knew how much younger I was than they were.
I would say no, because they weren't really paying attention to her.
Yeah. I do like how things came full circle for her later on in the book. I like how they built up the way they think things did build up. But I got so tired of feeling that this chick needed to be reassured.
I think she was obnoxious. She needed therapy.
She definitely needed therapy, because you go from, since we are spoiling the fuck out of this, she goes from, oh wow, I'm in love, to not only am I in love, but now I'm going to have sex with my foster brother and all of his friends to feel that love. I'm still not quite sure why she did it.
I get it though. You're not gonna like me. You're gonna hate me for saying this. I get why she did it.
Why?
Okay. You know those little girls who have nobody, and then that one person is kind of nice to them?
Yeah.
That her foster brother was kind of like that one guy who was kind of nice to her, and then she had sex with him, and then she wanted to please him constantly because she had nobody else.
See, I don't see it that way, because I don't think he really was that nice to her. I think he was actually really lecherous to her, because she even recognized it for what it was.
True.
Did we read the same book?
No. I actually agree with you. I agree with you. But here's the thing. Let's back it up. Okay, let me rethink my thought here. It's not that he was nice to her per se, is that she knew exactly what she wanted, and therefore she could give it to him. And by giving it to him, she got safety and she got a place to stay. But
she already had
she had a backup plan already with her stepbrother or her real foster brother. The one that was also in the system. You know who I'm talking about. The other guy.
But that's still, none of that really still really ties together. It's kind of disconjointed on why she went from her little school crush to being used as like a cum rag.
Like, well, she could no longer be with that family anymore.
No, she was still with that family. No, she didn't have to leave that family. Okay, she chose to dip out here and there.
Okay. She's just crazy.
That's really what it was. Like, there was just no explanation on why. And that's the thing. She had no reason to hate herself either. And then, like, you kept getting flashbacks of when she was 5 with the hippie couple that were her foster parents. And it was like, what really did they have to do with this story?
Because they left her and she was happy.
Okay.
And she didn't realize that wasn't a good situation for a child.
But she still didn't care that was a good situation or not. I don't know. I think it was just a bit
disconjointed in that section. It didn't link together properly. I would agree with you, but I wasn't unhappy with that.
There was like a few points that just didn't make sense. Like at one point, Michael's hating on his dad and they're fighting and they're arguing. And the next moment, they're having like this tender thing where his dad's all like, I'm proud of you. And like, you know,
I would say the dad relationship doesn't make any sense. I would agree with you there.
And it's like you barely even like talked about his mom, which is weird though, because she was a big fan of his mom. So you thought that you'd maybe see more appearances of the mom, but she only appeared once.
So you would say this book is missing 100 pages?
I think it's missing a good 200 pages.
I think it could have been longer in certain sections. But weirdly enough, I got to the end. She breaks the unwritten rule, which is a paparazzi which technically isn't true because there's some overlap between paparazzi and actual.
Yeah, I know stories.
Yeah, that's not actually true. Okay, but she breaks the wall because she's part of the super sleazy. She's part of the super sleazy celebrity, paparazzi. She's not part of the actual ones that get the really bad stories because they're half in, half out.
Yeah.
So she's the super sleazy ones. And so she breaks the unwritten rule, which pretty much ends her career because she can't be taken seriously anymore, which is technically not for paparazzi. It's technically for actual journalists, not paparazzi. But whatever.
Well, because it makes her pictures less genuine because they think that her pictures are staged.
Yeah. So she goes and instead starts doing like the artsy thing, which I actually liked.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like books that have artsy moments, but I like books with artsy moments and I can't help it.
Well, they've been wanting her to do something more than being paparazzi. And I don't even know why she held on so tight to being paparazzi. Because paparazzi wasn't just the only thing that she could do.
She hated herself.
More often she was like, I only know how to take pictures. Well, there's other things you can do with those pictures.
But you forget she hated herself. I mean, I've said this like 3 times now. She hated herself.
But still, like there's only so much you can hate yourself.
And being with
somebody.
Being with the sleaze guy, doing all the stuff was her hating herself.
Yeah, but when she's doing the art thing, it's 20 years, no, not 20 years, it's 10 years later.
Yeah. The hate wore off. What can I say?
Not really though, because she still hated herself that's why she flipped out when the pictures came out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why she left him. Because she was still hating herself, but supposedly loved herself.
But I don't think you're going to be able to get over really dirty pictures of you doing dirty stuff, no matter who you are.
I don't know. Look at Kanye, Kim, Ray J.
Kim, I still think Kim released those videos herself.
I think Ray J just wanted to prove that there wasn't any. Never mind. I was going to say something really, really vulgar, and I stopped myself.
Oh no! Finish it.
I was going to say Ray J was probably just proving that there weren't any herpes sores on his dick.
Probably, actually. So let's keep moving. So let's get into the end of this book. Completely spoiled. We sat on its face.
I hated it. I can't say I hate the ending. I'm disappointed with the ending. It was so 1990s Freddie Prinze Jr. rom-com.
80s.
I'm
I
gonna,
would say even 80s rom-com.
oh, so he's Jake and she's Molly Ringwald.
Yes.
Don't you
And then you have
forget
Ducky. You
about
actually did
me.
have Ducky. Yeah,
Yes,
Tom,
she
Ducky.
did. Tom, yes.
Ducky.
Oh my God. What makes it even worse because that makes her Molly Ringwald and him Andrew McCarthy. And makes Tom John Cryer. When John Cryer was actually kind of cute.
Don't you forget
Forget
about
about
me.
me.
Don't, don't.
Don't. Oh my God. We're such stories. But yeah, that ending was just like, I'm going to accept this great award and say, I love you. And be all cryptic about it.
Or Empire Records, very Empire Records. Sugar. Ah.
Yes. Definitely
Oh,
80s, 90s kind of thing. I just thought, I don't know, I expected more from that ending. I expected more depth from that ending. After everything that we were dragged through, I expected a lot more depth. Like, wait,
I
that's
think
it?
I think that we could have gotten more depth. I'm a cheap
There could have
date.
been like there could have been like a secret baby or something. Something. I just need something more than what they ended it with. Secret baby. He runs off. She realizes she's pregnant because this is like this is a good like Nora Roberts kind of moment. She realizes she's pregnant, and then like he reappears again 2 years old, and she's at the playground with a little boy that looks like him. And then they reunite, and it's a family, and they're in love, and they're so happy. Woo woo woo.
Most dudes are pretty pissed when you don't tell them you have their baby.
Yeah, but it only lasts for a couple pages. It's only a couple pages.
Heads up. That actually, those Nora Roberts where you don't tell the guy, you had his baby. Dudes aren't happy about that.
Yeah, but it only lasts for like a page or two, and then they're done feeling betrayed because they're so bewitched by having like their seed like right there in front of them, going "Hi, Daddy." So then,
just heads up, women. That doesn't work out the way you think it does.
no, not in real life, but in books it does.
Not a fucking good idea. It doesn't work out. You can get your baby taken away.
Word. I just wanted something that was just more after all the emotional shit that they drug us through and how broken she was for most of the fucking book. I wanted something more than a simple, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Yay, now we're in love. Woohoo. Let's close it out.
I actually kind of agree with that. But at the same time, I don't get to read a lot of books that actually go and have decent sex and then have a decent storyline. Normally it's either a good storyline or bad sex, or a bad storyline and good sex. So I would take it. I'm willing to take this and give it a buy because I actually enjoyed the journey.
I will buy it. I did enjoy the journey. I just didn't dig the destination. And I will buy it, and I will enjoy. I will buy it, and I will recommend it for other people to read it because not many people are like, I don't know, I guess hard boiled like I am. I just expect more, but sometimes simple things make people happy. I'm just not one of them. I'm high maintenance. I admit it. All right. Oh, donde? Where you at? Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Well, I think her sound went out. That kind of sucks. So, hi. um, let's see. Next group read, possible next reads. Good thing we have show notes. This is a reason less. Uh,
Okay, so we had a short broadcasting break because it broke for a second, and I have no idea why. So there's a gap in the show, which sucks. I'm sorry. It happens. Luckily, we didn't stop broadcasting. It just sort of went a little screwy. So let's go ahead and we'll try and keep going and see what happens. So sorry. So sorry. Oh boy. Hopefully it won't create a new link thingy. Let me get Vu back on the line. Sorry. We're about to go into Tight, which we read Tight. For some reason, it does not want us to read. Okay, there you are. For some reason, YouTube does not want us to talk about Tight.
you know what though? I can't even talk about Tight.
We're not going to do a discussion for Tight because we both actually didn't enjoy this as much as we should have. It's by Tight is by
Alessandra.
Torre. See, this is where you got to get your tongue kind of linguistic. Alessandra Torre. Alessandra Torre. Okay.
Alessandra.
Alessandra Torre. Torre. Okay. And I normally love everything from Alessandra Torre, but this is the first time I haven't been in love with a book from her, and I read it twice.
Nah, I don't even get oh, that book. I had to go back just to make sure that I wasn't reading crazy, just to say okay.
Because
The
you read
hell?
the audio book for first, which had the
Yeah,
multiple point of view thing going.
yeah, and then I actually went and grabbed the ebook, and yeah, there was some serious the fuck moments,
It's
and
not
I
her
was
best book. It's not her best book ever.
yeah, it was not a fun little romp of happiness at
So,
all.
should we spoil it?
Uh I don't even think it's worth our energy.
Okay, so we're not going to spoil this book for you. We're not. This book isn't a buy for us, which is unusual. I actually love this author quite a bit. She has a couple of good titles, and they're the thriller romance titles. So they actually have more than just sex in them, and the sex is good generally. But I don't know what it was. The plot was a little too plain for me to begin with.
It started off really, really plain, and then it got all twisted and weird.
I didn't enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy. It's hard to explain how much I didn't enjoy. I just didn't enjoy. Didn't enjoy. Okay. It's not okay. Let me rephrase this. it's not a bad book. Correct? Uh-oh. Are you there? Did I disconnect again? Okay. Well, I'll just keep talking
No,
to
I'm
fill the
here.
void.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
No. It's okay. It's okay. But what I was saying is it's not a bad book.
Yeah. It's not
It's
a
just not.
bad book. I don't think it was well thought out.
Well, I don't want to say slave. You know what I'm trying to say, which I'm not trying to spoil the book for anybody. It's a standalone book. There's no cliffhangers. There's no prequel. There's no prequels. There's nothing, extra to go along with this book. But at the same time,
it goes in slow, then it drops you into some shit, and then it pulls you back out again, and you're just left, well, confused.
I think part of the problem is that the sex slavery portion of this story, which I'm spoiling it, bitches, spoiled. The sex slavery portion of the story isn't my kind of fun. Generally, not this type.
I think it was brought in too abruptly.
Yeah, this type. Yeah, is that it? They didn't warm me up. They didn't get them lubed in there and warm me up.
They just dropped you into it. It was like this big shock of fucking cold water.
If you're gonna put the sex slavery in, use lube.
Like for real, because all you just asking for just dryness.
Give me hints, okay? If we're gonna, because let's use the 50 Shades analogy.
There was no foreshadowing whatsoever.
Because we all knew 50 was dark. We all knew it because Kate knew it. Anna knew it. Everybody knew it going into something was off about this dude. It was led up to it. They even had a whole section. This dude ain't right. All the way to 80% of the first book. This dude ain't right. And then second book, this dude is sick. Okay. You gotta lube that stuff, and I think she does in her other books. If this was a romance thriller, that would have been okay. You know what I mean? But this book isn't a romance thriller, correct?
Nope, not at all.
And that distinction makes the sudden sex slavery just weird.
It's not like Exit of Eden or Return to Eden or any of that where you knew what you were getting into. No, this is completely different. And I don't know if she was trying to shock us the way that the female lead was being shocked, but that was not an attractive thing to do to your readers.
It was not my favorite book from her, but here's the thing: she's a talented author. She's at this point of her indie career. She's super indie. She doesn't have a publisher or anything. She has somebody who does her paperbacks and who sets up her Audible, but pretty much she's self-published. She owns the digital. She's a full deal, and she is building. I mean, I think, she's going to be a huge author, and it's worth always looking at her books. Just not this one. No. Possibly just not this one. All right, let's go ahead.
There's authors that I love, and I love almost everything they read, and there's always that one or two books that don't turn me on.
The Ed series
by Mr. and Mrs. Gordon.
Yes.
Then there's the Sticks, Charlene Kenyon. That even thinking about that book makes my stomach whirl in not a good way. Neil Gaiman.
She had to write it. I get that she had to write it. I just wish I didn't read it.
Neil Gaiman's Nevermore. Not a fan of that book at all. Love all of his other stuff. Oh, and the Anansi Boys. Two books out of all the stuff that he's done, and those are the only two I dislike. So I mean, it happens.
It happens. Yeah, correct. It happens. All right, let's go ahead and read the next one. This is the Songs of Submission. You've read now Beg and Tease, correct?
I am more than halfway through Tease, but I did finish Beg. And wow, that is a darkness I never thought I would touch. But it's a darkness that has tainted my soul, and I can't leave it yet.
In a good way.
Yeah.
It's good taint. All right. The Songs of Submission series is by C.D. Reese, and
Yes.
it's a series. It has multiple titles like Beg, Release, da, da, da. It has very good cover art, Texy cover art. I think she did it herself when she back in the day. She did it herself. It's actually pretty well known now. It came out in 2013 originally, so it was with the Sea of 50 Shades style books. But technically speaking,
Way better. Very well
technically
written.
speaking, it's a series of short stories, but it's written like episodes.
Yeah.
Instead of it reading, sometimes people write things like short stories, and they write serial short stories, but they write it like stories still, and it doesn't really fit well. And this feels like you're watching an episode of a TV show.
Yeah.
You always get sex. In every book you're gonna get a sex scene or two,
It was nice
possibly
sex.
three.
Very nice sex.
Yeah. Sex was good. It was, and the best thing about the sex was that I don't like sex scenes where the male is not a male and it doesn't read like a dude.
Yeah.
You and me both have a lot of male friends. We know what a dude sounds like.
Yeah.
And when we don't get a dude who sounds like a dude, we get pissed off because they don't sound like a dude. I mean, I've read a lot of books, a lot of romance books where they want to do, well, do you do multiple point of views? And the dude doesn't sound like a dude. And it's like, why did you do that? Why didn't you just do it from a single point of view and then have the dude be mysterious, and then we wouldn't, he would still be a dude. No, he's not a dude to me anymore. Now, this is a, go ahead.
Well, see, I listened to the audiobook again because I was listening to it as I was gaming. And because it's a 3-day weekend and I'm trying to get as much gaming in as I possibly can.
Binging, gotcha.
So I was listening to the audiobook again. The first book, it really is, it sounds more about her, which it kind of is. Second book, it's definitely a mixture of both of them.
Keep in mind,
And
this series is a musical. Technically, this is a musical.
I can't imagine how they would sing it.
No. It's a non-traditional musical. So you know how Glee was a musical originally? Glee didn't have those cutout scenes
Yeah.
where somebody would just be randomly singing. That wasn't part of the original Glee. You remember that?
Yeah.
The Glee would have, the way Glee originally worked was they would have so a person would be singing in the shower, for example, and they would also add music to it. And then a person would be like how the person in the shower hears that moment. Or a person would be singing on stage, and then you would get the musical number on the stage. Because non-traditional musical, you're not talking about the Disney musical where people just randomly burst out into song, which that was later Glee, which I like less. It's not that I don't like those type of musicals. I'm actually, if you can't tell, I'm a musical person.
I'm a musical geek. Like, yeah.
I'm a less closeted musical person. So I'm actually into that. And
I am out and about and loud and proud music geek. Yeah.
well, I gotta go to work. So I work in a male dominated office. I used to work in a male dominated office. So yeah. It's like, can we go see Wiccan?
Oh, see, that was your problem. You actually hung out with your coworkers.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't do
think
any of
so.
that. No, I didn't do none of that. No.
So let's back on the horse. So in the Beg series, it's somewhat of a musical. So there's constantly moments in this where she
It's
is just
singing,
on
yeah.
the piano. Is on the piano singing, trying to find her voice, trying to find who she is as an artist, which is the premise of this series. Is who is she? She's trying to discover herself. It's a later in life coming of age, correct?
Kind of. There are a few things that threw me off about this, though. It was like, it was hot, it was sexy, it was even passionate, and then they threw a big fucking wrench right in the middle of it, and I was like, well, what the fuck?
So
Actually, my response was, that's fucked up.
So far, would you recommend this book?
I would recommend it, but I would have to like warn people that they have to be prepared for a sudden turn in the story.
And you have to be in for, if you don't like the first book, keep reading, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
No matter what, keep reading.
It'll be okay.
It's like Kate Daniels. It's like Kate Daniels. The first Kate Daniels book isn't necessarily the best book in the world, but the problem with the first Kate Daniels series is the world is so complex that they're just building out the world. It's almost like a prequel. So just keep reading the series. It's going to be okay. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I actually agree with you completely that this is a buy work. I recommended you read this book, actually. I said, no, you're reading Songs of Submission because fuck yous.
And I did, and I like the male lead. I do. Yeah.
He's complex.
He's a little emotionally vulnerable.
And not in the emo way, not in the way that not in the female way.
Not in the dreary, whiny, like eyeliner wearing way. No, he was very he's strong, but has like the little cracks in his armor, which is also kind of part of his sexiness.
Yeah, in the male way. And
he's very honest.
Yeah.
And I like that too. He's very honest. He was right straight up front with her, nothing to hide.
Yes. Okay, so before we get into the full spoil, let me say that this book it's a novella, it's an adult erotic fiction. It's new. I wouldn't even say it's new adult. I would actually throw that away because she's like 20.
She's 25
ish. Yeah, she's 20-ish. She's late. She's almost in her late 20s. So that's why I say it's somewhat coming of age.
And he's like 32.
Yeah. It's a short story. They're about between 100 pages and then it goes to 200 pages, and then some are short. It varies in length, but each book feels like an episode. It's also it also has some BDSM elements in it. So, and I would say it's more power exchange than whipping.
Yeah, definitely.
It's about power exchange. Which some people are into that. We don't judge here. By God, our name is Mistress of Reads. We're down for anything that feels good, as long as we can walk away from it.
I kind of like the whole feeling good and make sense, and yet still be able to walk away from it.
Yeah, as long as we are adults, consenting adults, we believe in consensual fun. And I honestly think
involve like a chicken.
Yeah, I honestly think as long as I think there's somebody for everybody and no animal play. There's somebody
to my vapor.
But there's somebody, no animal play, please.
Everyone has a genre.
Yes. And we don't judge. We don't judge. If you like feet, then by God, love your feet.
Enjoy your feet. Stay away from mine.
There's a woman out there or a man out there looking for a feet rub right now. Get your jollies, bitch.
No, you know what? The ones I worry about, it's not even the ones that with the foot fetish. It's the ones with the shoe fetish. Like I fear the things that someone could possibly
shoes out of them people. You can get some good shoes out of them people.
Stained, sticky shoes.
Yee. It's new to you. They're not okay. The shoe fetish people aren't trying to give you their stained and sticky shoes. They're trying to give you the new shoes so you stain and sticky them.
No, they want to stain and sticky the shoes.
And you mean when they're done? I gotcha. When they want to ruin the shoes. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It took me a second to get there, but I got there.
Yeah, there's that spectrum of the shoe fetish where they're pretty much screwing your shoe. Yeah. No.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yes. So can we bust this wide open? Can we spoil?
Bust it wide open. Bust it wide open. Let's start with the first book.
Okay, first book. All right, so it built in good. It's sexy. It's nice. The story is good. I like the characters, though I didn't. There was like one or two characters that I was just like, what the fuck is the point of these people? But,
Jessica?
Well, no, Jessica, I can understand. All his
Ex-girlfriend.
fucking sisters, I can understand.
His
Ex-boyfriend Kevin, I don't understand.
The ex-boyfriend that's also the best friend.
No, that was Darren. Kevin
Yeah.
is the ex-boyfriend that didn't want her to sing.
Right.
I was
The
like,
art freak. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, so why the fuck are you there, dude?
Jonathan. Yeah, and her lover, something or other. But he's her sex on a stick. Jonathan Dresden. her sex on tap. Jonathan Dresden. So they get into the normal these sort of, fuck buddy relationships aren't exactly as scandalous as they sound. Sometimes you just need somebody to get your jollies with.
But
and
they've regressed
shit
to more
happens.
to that anyway.
What was that?
They've regressed to more than to that anyway. They actually become like a couple.
Yeah, but that isn't until later on. Right now we're in book 1, and that's the Beg series.
It did
That's
happen in book 1. It was actually 2/3 into book 1 where they become an official couple.
But we're at the beginning of this talk. You just want to get to the part where you're upset about, aren't you?
I really need to. I need to.
Well, we work our way there. So they get together at the start of the book. They get together and they create like this sort of arrangement where she shows up at his house. The best kind of arrangement. A hot billionaire dude.
She's not there for the money. She really is there just for the sex.
True. Because she has her own agenda.
Yeah, she needed to get off. He needed to get off. They were just exchanging services. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. It's not about, which, I mean, for a rich guy, that is a scary arrangement because you live or die off your dick instead of your riches. So
yeah. Well, see, that's why, like, they never used his bedroom until they actually became a couple. Is when they actually used his bedroom. Instead, they used all of his guest rooms.
Well, you got to christen the whole house. So she even within 100 pages, I think she does an excellent job on taking you on an extreme emotional journey for 100 fucking pages.
Yeah, but then and it's all hot, it's all sexy, and then the darkness comes, and Gabby commits suicide.
That's not big. That's not big. That's not big though, right?
That's in big. Yes, it is.
Let me see. Is it big? I have notes. I took notes from. No, Gabby's alive and big. I took notes. Gabby's alive and big.
I believe
she dies in the next book. We're giving it away. Sorry. We told you.
Understand that I did an audiobook, so the audiobooks are actually in cluster packs.
Oh, so it doesn't actually label them.
Yeah.
So you're probably farther into the series than you think you are.
Yeah, I probably am.
Okay, she doesn't die. Here's the thing. I would say this. Gabby ends up all of her friends are extremely creative, extremely talented people who haven't hit, which you run across a lot in LA. There's actually quite a lot of talent down there just wasting away. I don't know why.
I think that's pretty much anywhere.
True. And but one of the problems I see in this book is I wish you had given Gabby's death maybe 100 more pages. Or even 50 more pages.
I kind of wish that it wasn't given as much as it was. Okay. All right. So submit.
But it's a pivotal moment in the story because
where she committed suicide. All right. Okay. I'm looking at it now. All right. So
yeah.
It is a pivotal part. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that we're going to be doing because that means that we're covering 9 books.
Well, we're not covering 9 books because you're not all the way through the series.
No,
so we're only doing 5.
Okay.
Because I think you're at book 5, correct?
I'm starting book 5.
So we're only doing to that point. So I would say that Gabby is her creative center because Gabby is her melody. You understand?
Yeah, but she doesn't really write a really good song until after Gabby has killed herself. But the part
That's
that
because
throws me off, what was the part that throws me off was really him getting her off at Gabby's like wake. Like that was just kind of, I don't know, like I'm not a very conservative person or conventional in any way, but even for me that kind of seems semi disrespectful.
okay, this is Mistress of Reads, and this is a place of honesty and smut. So I'm gonna be honest right now. I kind of been in that kind of place before. Not necessarily in the same layout, but you know when you're really, really sad and you just
Yeah, I don't let anyone touch me when I'm sad.
moments. See, sometimes when I'm sad, I want to connect. Sometimes when I'm happy, I connect. And especially when I'm mad, I want to connect. I want to connect and I want to get off and I want to walk away.
Damn,
So,
Hooker, you be needy. You know, but
you know, the worst part is I don't care if you finish.
as I said for
Except for in the happy section is when I care if you finish. But when I'm mad, I don't care if you finish. I'd actually prefer if you didn't.
wow. So they just would have felt the same frustration that you felt before you approached them. Shame on you.
If I can, because I can listen, I don't need you in this room to get there. I can get there as quickly as possible. Trust me. But if I can leave you with not getting there, I will leave you, especially if I'm pissed off while we're doing this. Trust me. That's
You're a mess.
mean. I was like, you're mean. I was like, yes, I am. You know what? I never said I wasn't. I only tried to say I wasn't evil for like 30 seconds, and then I just gave up and said, yeah, I am.
Yeah, don't lie. It's not nice.
So I actually think that, there is certain people. What I'm trying to say is, I actually get her personality. I kind of get that moment. So I think I'm going to be opposite of you on that statement. I actually get that second.
Okay.
But you understand what I'm saying, though?
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
So I get that moment. And yeah, it is disrespectful, though. Especially since she committed suicide. So it's terrible. I'm such an awful human being.
You said it, I didn't.
It is what it is. It is what it is. This is honesty time. This is a place of honesty. And because we're talking smutty books, let's be honest here. We're going to be honest. Shit happens.
It does.
But here's the thing. What I really liked, though, was I liked the way it's been only a couple of books. You know when you read books and you hear the music in your head?
Yeah.
This was one of those books where I heard her. I heard her without even knowing the song. And I thought that was like very interesting in itself. Like I was like,
You know what actually that scene reminded me of when she was singing the song? It reminded me of I forgot which book it was in the Hollow series when Ivy was listening to that song and she could only hear the special vampire track and she was singing like just sitting there singing it. And that scene kind of, I don't know, it just kind of reminded me of it. I don't know why, but it did.
we're such urban fantasy geeks.
Yeah.
Wait, I would say that what I liked about this the most is that I heard the song on this book, and I think that's a talent in itself to be able to carry that musicality and beat throughout the series, which set, it was only like 150 pages, 158 pages or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you get people who write, 200 to 400 pages and the book lacks beat. This book had beat. I never fell out of I never fell out of love with the female lead, which happens a lot in these books where you just hate the chick. You know what I'm talking about.
I do, because I'm like the number one hater.
I did not hate the chick. I never found myself hating her.
I did not hate her. I actually liked her quite a bit. I just want more from her. So we will see. I will continue on this journey of darkness.
But you're only in like book 4, book 5. So you haven't gotten the full deal from her yet, one way or another.
I'm going to get there.
I would say the one thing I disliked about this is I don't think she reaches her full emotional depth in this story, but I know people like her, so I get her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's certain people who this is as far as they go, and then they're just okay. They're one of those people who are just okay. After they, after they do their creative thing, after they do whatever happens, kill their mother, kill their whole family, just, burn her house down, doesn't matter. After she does her emotional deal with her pen and paper and her drawings and her brushes, she's cool.
Yeah.
And I think that this is that type of character. At least for me, that's the way she seems to feel. So if you're in this waiting for her to have some come to Jesus moment or something, I don't know if you're going to get that in the same way as somebody who is artistically creative. So that's where it kind of reads true for me, at least. Because I feel like the artistically creative people are highly sexualized. And they just burst with it. They burst out with those feelings. And then when they're done with the feelings, they're done with them. Just for me.
See, I don't know, because she's in my realm of art, and that you still need to be able to recall that feeling when you're trying to convey anything in any type of music.
But I feel like she's pumping a lot of her feelings into the music itself instead of into a really talky, emotional relationship with the dude.
Well, see, they are talky though, and she is emotional about that. Like, she pretty much pissed herself off for an entire weekend, all because she wanted to know if he really fucked his ex-wife. That like ruled her whole fucking day.
I'd actually do that shit though. I would be honest, but I would probably do that too.
See, I can't do that. That's too much energy into something that isn't going to be productive.
And the worst part is, I'd have sex a couple of times before I got up to actually a couple of times, and that person would not have gotten off. I had shit all over that place. Just pissed out all the corners. Oh no, so bad. Just not even an adult relationship.
See, the weird part is that a woman who's actually secure would know. But what happens is that a lot of women are insecure, sadly. So they fall for bitches games, or games that bitches play. Well, he was a little rough. Well, why did she have to look away when she said it? And why did she make a point to say it? What was the point of her showing up? What was the whole point of the show? Because the woman was insecure. Chicks got to pay attention. Don't get pulled into the games that bitches play. Don't do it. And if you play games, like let's say the ex-girlfriend takes his phone and takes a picture of the two of them together, and they just happen to be in the same vicinity or whatever. Okay, that does not mean that he fucked her. It just means that he didn't grab his phone back fast enough. Chicks do that. They're just trying to play with you. They're trying to make you insecure. And the first one that gets jealous is the one that loses.
Yeah, but you know what the funny thing is? I don't think I'd ever be the chick who's sending that pictures to another chick.
Oh, no, because that's the insecure chick in herself. The secure chick doesn't have to do the truly secure woman doesn't have to do any of that shit.
Oh, okay. Because I would never have thought to do any. I missed the class on girl games in high school. I missed that
See,
class.
I tried to avoid them. That's why I mostly hang out with dudes, but then they want to hang out, like they want to date these chicks. So I get to see all the shit. Like the reason why I won't go visit my best friend anymore because his current girlfriend slash fiance is insecure
You just put
because
wait. We're just putting this shit in the streets.
I don't care. Well, no, she's insecure. She has to follow me around to prove to me like how close they are.
Okay.
And that drives me up the fucking wall because I don't really care. But like she needs to prove it to me. And it's like, boo, I've been here for over a decade. You've been here for like 3 years. If there was gonna be a me and a him, your ass would have never been here. So whatever. I don't care.
But he isn't your type to begin with.
No, not at all. Not at all. Number one,
Well,
he's a beta. The name is Mistress. I don't do betas. I do
so you like the title of the show. I'm glad you like the title of the show. Okay, so I think you're gonna have to tell me about the end of the series and see whether or not, because you're very picky about your endings.
I am.
I'm not as picky about my endings as long as the rapist doesn't end up with the chick, which I've been seeing lately.
As long as you get your boxing McNuggets at the end, you're fine. I get that. But I need the lobster.
Are you just calling me a cheap date?
A little bit.
It's complete. It's not like a trough. Here's your trough ending.
Hey, I give you McNuggets. McNuggets are pretty good.
Oh, fuck you, bitch. Just looking like you're just casually insulting.
I could have been like, well, you just want your ramen pack.
I actually like the ramen pack. You know what I do though? I actually have. This is how cheap I am. I actually freeze my broth, and then when it's time for ramen, I have my own broth for my ramen and stuff. I'm ready to cut up the stuff for it. I'm like, I don't need to go out. I got this.
Wow.
I got this. We can watch Naruto, and you can fall asleep, and I'll just watch it, and I'll cut up the ramen and stuff. It's okay. I got this.
Oh, see, I have a 12-pack of Shin Bowls, the spicy ramen. Mm-hmm. And that's my Naruto eating ramen.
I got this. I was like, I can't watch Naruto again. We'll fine. We'll watch the stupid English version.
Well, there's still some Naruto to be had because the anime isn't over yet. So I'm gonna keep on watching and eat my ramen and cry my big boohoo tears.
So I wanna thank you for coming to this Valentine's Day episode of as weird as that sound. And we actually had a listener, which was interesting.
One.
And I know I was shocked. Is it Raven?
I don't know. Maybe.
If it was Raven, you should tell her to come on in. Because she read Beg. I want to see how that emotionally stained her.
Oh, that poor little girl. She's going to be so broken in so many bad ways when we're done.
Well, as long as she's broken onto Dick. The job well done. Job well done. All right, so nobody will get that joke. That was a little too inside, but whatever. This is the end of the episode. We were so happy you joined us. We're getting back into the VOO. It's over. This Mistress Reads episode is over. We haven't figured out what we're going to read next because we had such a big reading pool this week. So I think what we'll do is we'll finish out the Beg series, and then we'll do the news for next week. So it'll be the finishing of the Beg series and then the news next week, and that will be it for the week. We're not going to go nuts.
No.
We're not going to. This was a book gangbang. This was a bit of a book gangbang week for Valentine's Day for you lucky ladies and gentlemen, because I heard prison erotica is a big thing these days.
Oh my God, though.
It is though, right? You read the article about the prison guys? Oh, reading the erotica authors?
You know what
Oh,
though? You know who I blame for that? I blame Orange is the New Black.
no, but it's the men's prison that it's actually reading those. Do you heard about that? In the
I
men's prisons, they're reading like werewolf porn books.
I could see it. That would explain all the like fantasy like erotica that's been reappearing here and there.
MF2, MF2, MF, MMF, MMMMFFF.
MMMMMF.
That's a lot of MMs between that. That's a lot. That's a lot to
Werewolf
service.
gangbang.
I
Werewolf
know that's a lot to
gangbang.
service there. Maybe we should read the original Phoenix back, the original one with the gangbang in it.
Oh my god.
It has the original Werewolf Phoenix Packs has a gangbang cutscene that the publisher version they got rid of. I actually know where the gangbang cutscene is, so
Bang bang bang.
we might end up reading that. We'll talk about it if I'll send a message out. It's okay. We're gonna have to say goodbye. Thank you, friends, and thank you for our ride or die, bitch. We're up to 1. We're happy to
Yay.
have you. Thank you. Good night.
Night.